probably going to go to bed after this.
And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bram, joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hello.
How are you today, sir?
I'm here, David.
I'm glad you're here. We're going to open up the show. We usually open the show with the same thing we open every show with, but we got an email, guys.
Yes.
Got an email. So we got to start off with our emails. We got an email from our longtime listener and friend, JB.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Exactly. He writes in to sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com. And what do you get if you email us, David?
You get a $5 gift card to either Steam, Starbucks, or Amazon. So I need to email JB, find out which one he wants, and then go forward.
Thank you, JB.
Yes. So his question to us, since we love board games and video games, he writes to us and he says... First of all, he did say first-time caller, long-time listener. I love the fact that I actually wrote that. He says, I have a question with all the board games and video games you guys talk about on the show, and wanted to know what are some of the video games and or board games that you grew up with that influenced our passion for them? And also, was there a person or someone in our life that influenced us to become such fans of video games and board games? Now, I think we take this two-part, right?
I think one I'll answer and one you'll answer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't have a passion for board games like David does.
Well, I think you like them.
Yeah, I mean, the only board games growing up were like Monopoly. We had Mousetrap, for about a week until one of the dogs ate one of the parts, and then you could never play again.
Right.
So yeah, not too much board gaming in my younger years, many blue moons ago.
I thought you were going to say I'm the one that inspired you to play more board games.
Well, you said like as
I'm fishing for
up,
compliments is what I'm saying.
No, you don't need your
right.
head's big enough.
All right.
All right. In terms of video games, nothing really inspired or nobody inspired.
What was your first system?
Myself. NES.
Okay. Did you?
But
How
I think
old
I was
were you?
playing PC before we got an NES.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
But I was playing like DOS games and stuff like Quake and things like that. Yeah. Windows 3.1.
C, was it? You had to type in D:\/
C, but
was it C? Because you would run it off the disk back in the day.
Well, if it was the floppy drive, it's A drive. At 5 1/4, then it's a B drive.
All these kids born in
anyway,
the 90s, like what? What's a floppy?
But the first thing, like I played little video games a little bit, or on PC games and stuff. But what really inspired me is a group of friends. I think at the end of I want to say elementary school or early junior high, we went to like one of those LAN gaming places. It was called Cybertron.
Oh, like a cafe.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
just gross, sweaty, hot, bunch of bodies, and playing Counter Strike. That was like my first like
full on.
I freaking love video games.
Yeah. They have a new cafe here in Vegas. It's called, well, it's not new, but it's called Press Start, and there's no windows, or there's windows, but they're all like blacked out.
Of course,
it's just like they know what they're going for.
Yeah.
But it's right across from an Arby's. They know when you get hungry.
Oh, it's bathrooms.
Charged by the hour.
Yeah. Anyway,
Trick
dude,
or ping, bro.
What inspired you?
Okay, so my first games were introduced to me by my dad. Specifically, the first game was Star Tropics. Do you remember this game for NES?
On NES, yeah, I had that game.
The yo-yo, that was your weapon. So I remember playing that as a kid. I got it for, I want to say probably, so I was born in 85, same year I think that NES came to, because you had Famicom in Japan, and then came over here, and I think we got it, when I was maybe 6 or 7. So it had already been out for a number of years, so there was good games. So I remember what we got. Of course, you get Mario and Duck Hunt, which comes with it. But we got that, and we got Metroid. I think those were the two games. And my dad was like, love Star Tropics. It's cool. It was cool because it was new to everybody.
Yeah.
So he was like, wow.
It was RPG, right?
Yeah. It's like it's a lighter version of an RPG game. And I just remember I came home and started playing it, and then he didn't play it as much as I did because I was like 6, right? So one day he came home and he's like, you don't have to look at the controller anymore when you play? Like, because you would look at the buttons, and I'm like, no.
You just know this one's B, this one's A. There's only 2 buttons, Dad.
And it's weird now to think about there's only how do you not have to? Because you would look at the controller to get to remember.
Yeah.
And now it's just so
Do you look at the keyboard when you type?
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say
same kind of premise.
Yeah, exactly. So after that, then my cousin Keith, who came and visited us for something. I think he was in for work or something. In when I lived in Texas, and he brought with him because he knew I liked video games at that point. He brought his Sega Genesis, his TurboGrafx 16, his Super Nintendo, and his Lynx. Remember that giant handheld?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I was like, can I leave with you? Can I go back to Las Vegas and live with you? I don't care about my family. We can figure it out. I want to play Golden Axe forever. And I remember staying up, when you're a little kid, staying up is cool, but it's hard to do because you're 7, right? So you go to bed at 11, right? I'd stay up and I'd be drinking coffee like a 7-year-old trying to stay up with my cousin. Like, I got to keep playing Golden Axe. We got to play Beast Wars, man. I never even played that game. And he brought like a suitcase. Now, of course, I'm sure he brought like maybe like 10 games, but in my head, it was like just a suitcase. Like, he didn't even bring clothes, just full of cartridges and stuff. So I absolutely loved video games from an early age. And then I think I had my rendezvous with PC gaming it was that LucasArts Click Adventure games, all that stuff, Sam & Max, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, all that stuff. And then it became first-person shooter with like the, what are those Star Wars games? Dark
TIE
Force?
Fighter and X-Wing?
No, Dark Force. It was the first person you were
Dark Forces.
Dark Forces.
Or Jedi Knight.
Yeah, Jedi Knight, Dark Forces. I had a Packard Bell. That was the computer we had. And I remember I wanted to get it upgraded, and we brought it to some computer place or whatever, and the tech there, like everyone's a jerk who works at it. Because this is back in the day. Anybody,
I used to work there, David.
You're all just so smart. No one knows anything. So I was like, hey, I want to make this go faster. What do I do? And he's like, well, we have a tool for the computer to make it go faster. And I was like, well,
what version of Windows were you running this?
I don't. 3.1. It was way back in the day. Yeah, I was playing
1995?
I don't know. I don't know when it was. But anyways, I asked the guy, I'm like, okay, how do we make it? Like, what do we do to make it? And he's like, we have a tool for this computer. And I was like, okay, what is it? And he's like, a sledgehammer. I was like,
jerk.
Yeah, asshole. Like, I'm a little kid. I just want more. Remember RAM used to cost like 4 gigs of RAM? Or it wasn't even 4. It was 4.
I was so jealous because my
megabytes.
buddy in junior high again, high school, I think.
Yeah.
He had the first 3D FX card in our group.
Voodoo.
Like, oh, what? Yeah, Voodoo graphics. Yeah, man. We're like, oh, lucky. Like, I want to play.
So awesome. Yeah, and then again, I used to go over to my cousin Keith's because he was older. He had disposable income, so he could spend stuff like we do now on games. It's like kids now. If like they hung out with us, they'd be like, "You two are the coolest." Yeah, because we have money and we can do whatever we want. But my cousin had like Fallout, had all the original games on PC that looked amazing. Like I was just like, oh my god. So that was the video game thing, and I've loved video games ever since I was just a little kid. But I didn't like board games for a long time. I played the classics,
the usuals,
Monopoly, Scrabble, that stuff, and I just thought they were boring. And really, when I got introduced to board games, it was probably about 2.5 years ago. It was actually from the show Totally Rad Show, which is the thing that we're trying to do here, sort of. But in that vein, they had a game called Cash and Guns, which we've talked about on this. And I'm a huge fan of the Quentin Tarantino movie Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
Love that movie.
Of course, who doesn't?
Of course, yeah. And there's the whole point, the way they sold the game on that show, because they talked about it on the show, was it's Reservoir Dogs, the board game. And I was like, I don't even care what it is. Like
sold.
But the whole point of that game is like you make a heist or whatever. You get back to the hideout, and then you're trying to split the loot, and everyone thinks they should get more cut than the other people, so you start pointing guns at each other, and there's this big standoff. And I was like, that sounds amazing. Bought it. I had to buy it like from some third party because it wasn't in print, which I didn't know at the time, because I'm like, what? It's like a video game. I'm like, what do you mean it's not in print? Like, what is that? Because it's not the same concept.
Yeah.
And so I bought it. I got a chip from like some other part of the world. It cost me a ton of money, and I played it, and I was like, this is a board game? Like, this is like, you can do this with a board game? And then I was like, let me try another one that they talk about, and it was The Resistance, which we've played, and we love. It's a social deduction, trying to figure out who's the spy and who's the resistance.
And when was this?
This was probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it was those two games, and like just knocks out of the park, where it was like, I didn't know board games could like create these experiences, and then it was just...
And a problem is what it turned into.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it is a problem. Like, here's the thing with video games versus board games that they never tell you until you get too many. Video games don't take up a lot of space, like physical space. Like, hard drive.
Get the disc, or you just trade them in, or you just get digital.
Yeah,
copies,
you need like a couple shelves, and you have hundreds of games.
You need a hard drive.
With board games, you need space, like a lot of space, because these things take up a lot of space.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, at this point now, I'm running out of room. So that's actually curtailing my purchases. It's not necessarily that I don't want more.
Do you have games that you have that you would give away?
I do. I've thought about that. I've talked about it on the show about doing like a spring cleaning. Games that I just unfortunately don't play anymore that aren't bad games. It's just, it's the same thing with video games. I'm sure you trade them in, or you don't finish them, or you don't play them, and then they feel like this like child that you haven't like. I feel bad. Like, I still haven't played Tomb Raider, which I let you borrow, and you played. And I look at it every day, and it's just staring at me like, David,
you bought me.
Why
Gerald used me.
How dare you? So it's just it's tough. It's a good problem to have. We have too much good stuff to do.
If I were talking about like modern board games and stuff like inspiring, it would be you. like and bringing me
Thanks.
into the fold. With these
That's
board
what I
games
was.
stuff. Is that what you were fishing
That's
for?
what I was fishing for.
I was just going for you.
But I'm trying to think of like the games that I would introduce, because there's a lot of people out there that play board games that might listen to the show, and there's always these gateway games. I've had such great success with introducing board games. I wish someone had done that for me, where I've introduced them to you, Jordan, my family, and like even people are like, I don't like board games, because they're traditional thoughts of what a board game is.
I don't want to sit 4 hours playing Monopoly and get angry.
Right. And some people, there's good and bad things about Monopoly. I hate on it all the time. It's like the whipping boy for board game fans. But it's important that you introduce the right game. And I do have everyone talks about their laws of board gaming. I do have one rule.
Everyone talks about that, David?
Everyone, not my rule, but people have rules. Like there's a guy who runs the Dice Tower. He has the vassal rule. It's the idea that if a game's good enough and it's out of print, it will get reprinted at some point. And if it's not being reprinted, that tells you that the game's probably not that good. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of laws. My law is if you're going to introduce somebody to a board game and you're good at it and they're learning, don't crush them. Not a good idea.
I made that mistake.
Yeah, you can beat them, but don't swing for the fences. You know what I mean? Like, don't take it easy on them, but don't like beat them over. Like, oh, you made a mistake. I'm gonna exploit that to the fullest degree.
David,
what?
Be honest with me. Have you ever let me win?
No, definitely not. There's certain people that I don't.
Good.
Well, because you have a background in like video games, so like you understand them. You usually understand like there's the same type of rule sets in all games. But excellent email. I like that. I like talking about what inspired us, because, of course,
well-deserved $5 coffee or whatever.
Thank you, JB. Thank you so much. Okay, now that we got through that, as always, I didn't bring this up at the beginning. If you're listening to the audio version, go to youtube.com/sitdownstandard. We do video podcasts, so
see your faces.
Yeah, we put up this beautiful wall of board games.
David did. I didn't help.
Yeah, well,
Good job, David.
Okay, so let's start off the show with the thing that we usually start the show off with every week. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Are you done?
I was going to see how long it could go. But, I like is that I should add a little bit of everything. All right, so Gerald, what you doing?
Got a bunch of stuff here, David.
Okay.
First of all, we got an email about this.
Yes, we always like when people give us suggestions to do, because, like I said, we have a good problem. There's too much good stuff. And so we got an email from Steve from St. Louis. He wrote to us and said, hey guys, love the podcast. So we're already going to read your email at this point. Always great information and opinions. I suggest that you guys should watch Stranger Things on Netflix. Now, this is not the first suggestion that I've heard about this. A whole bunch of people on Twitter were going nuts about it.
Rave.
And then he wants us to talk about it. So, Gerald, I assume, since you brought that up, that you saw the show.
I did. This premiered last Friday, the 14th. Is that last Friday? Something like that, last Thursday, whatever. Yeah. Premiered. It's kind of like 80s sci-fi, so think like old Spielberg, that kind of feel to the show. E.T. is a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Even like the text.
Yep.
As you're like, oh, this is like the old the sci-fi, the crappy sci-fi novels, like have that font.
Yeah, of course. There's definitely a bunch of homages in this, homages to Spielberg, to the crappy sci-fi. Close Encounters of the Third Kind it has a feel to. So a lot of Spielberg-y thing. I think it's called Amberlin.
Oh my god, the music.
So it's funny.
Brings me back to those movies.
Okay, so the show is it's hard to talk about because it's a very story-driven show, like very story-driven.
Well, first off, don't look too much into it. Just watch the show.
Just watch the show and you'll get hooked. It's one of those shows that the first episode is interesting enough. The pilot is fantastic. I've watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, I think, at this point.
There's 8 total.
Yeah, so it's not long. They're all about an hour long.
Yep. And it's filmed like a movie, so the next episode takes place right before the next
not
one.
like,
So it's just an 8-hour movie, pretty much.
You've got a couple people in it. Winona Ryder's in it. She plays the mom of a kid at the very beginning of the. This doesn't spoil anything because it's in the very, I think, first 10 minutes.
It's in the trailer. But
the story takes place. It's in the 80s. I think it's 1983. And like, talk about, I love the timepiece stuff. Like, I love when X-Men does like the Days of Future Past because of like the forced continuity that's required. This show. Talk about nailing it. There is product placement in this movie or in this TV show of 80s products that don't exist anymore.
Right?
Like there's parts when they're at the school because it takes place with a bunch of kids in high school and middle school. And there's a part when they're in front of lockers and they have the locker open and there's a trapper keeper and bright
Trapper keeper.
And I'm like, that's advertising for something. I don't even think Trapper Keepers are around.
I'm sure they probably still do.
I don't think
There's hipsters now, bringing back that old crap. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of like 80s stuff. And I will say this, like I said, the less you know about it, the better. Just go into it.
Just real quick, it's a small town. Think of like a small town.
Yeah.
The characters in the show are 4 kids, and one of them goes missing, and that's kind
hilarity ensues.
No,
not really.
No,
definitely not hilarity.
But it's not scary in like the traditional horror that's out now.
It's not a horror at all.
No, well, it's sci-fi horror.
Yeah,
but it's lowercase h on the horror.
Yeah,
it's more
like
more
the
of
Thing.
Yeah, it's more.
This is actually a Thing poster in one of the kids'
Yeah,
rooms.
there's so much cool stuff. They talk about and like you said, the soundtrack, the music in it is just nails it.
I did make a note here.
Cinematography is amazing in this movie. Or I keep calling it a movie because it really is.
It's like an 8-hour movie, yeah. But I did make a note here that the 4 main kids in this are excellent actors.
Yeah, excellent. Like it's impressive,
and you don't see that, And
I think we were talking about it during the week because we were watching it, and I said, like TV's better than like actors that do TV now. Like are better than movies. It used to be like, oh, you're a TV actor, saying
George Clooney over here,
right? That's like one of the few, right, that actually can transition between the two. But it was always like you're a TV actor or you're a movie actor, right, because movie actors are quote unquote better. Not anymore, man. The acting, like you said, the kid acting is amazing. All 4 of the kids in this are amazing,
and throughout the whole entire series too. There's never a bad scene.
Like dialogue is probably hard because it's weird because it's 80s dialogue, so it's like
kids, you don't know what any of this crap is.
Right.
Just read the lines.
But they're delivered in such
What's a trapper keeper?
Exactly. But it's an excellent show. I am champing at the bit to try to get to it so I can watch it because I want to watch it. It's not one of those things like sometimes I'll watch stuff on Netflix that's kind of playing while I'm doing something else, but that I actually want to watch. It's fantastic. Down, If you like Twin Peaks, if you like X-Files, if you like that kind of
like you said, it's sci-fi horror, but it's tough to call it horror, but it's just
it's like old school 80s horror. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's scary, but not like anymore. Like if you go back and watch 80s horror movies, they're kind of scary, but not like the same type of scary.
Yeah. Everything now is just crappy jump scares. So
yeah, and it's just so good, like just so good. Like Netflix, like is their original series stuff. They're killing it lately.
And I did rate it a 9 out of 10. I don't know why I don't really have a scale, but it's that good.
Well,
so definitely check it out.
We'll probably, I think in maybe a couple weeks, we'll do like a full spoiler thing because I really do. I think the show is that good that it deserves that. We talk about 2016. This is currently this might be my favorite TV show of the year, and I've only seen the first 4 episodes.
Like original show, like not kind of Game of Thrones or anything.
Season 6 versus this, I don't know. I haven't gotten all the way through it, but I really, really like this show. I love the cinematography. All of the characters are interesting. The big thing it has going for it is it's got the 80s, like the cars. Like it's got to be such a frustrating endeavor to, like, oh, you can't use that car because that car was made in 85 and like this is set in 83 and like.
Well, if they're doing their jobs correctly, yeah, they'll be like that.
No, but I'm sure you would hope they would hire somebody on set to be like, you're the 83 expert. Like find somebody that's still living in 83. Yeah. Living in an RV or something. No, Trapper Keepers came out in 84. Get that out of here. Anyways, okay. So thanks for the suggestion, Steve from St. Louis. We really appreciate it. I'm going to get through it probably this week. But it is fantastic. I recommend everybody under the sun go see this.
Yes, definitely. A couple other things. I played this new game that came out on the Xbox One called The Solus Project. And I didn't know this came out on PC before, but it's now on. They did like the Xbox preview program. You've heard about this, right? The Xbox preview thing.
What is that?
Steam Greenlight?
Yeah.
They have that for Xbox.
So how does that... I don't really know much about it. I know Steam Greenlight is like... It's kind of like a Kickstarter-ish thing, right? Don't they raise...
You're paying a discounted price for a game while it's in development.
Right. So it's got a Kickstarter feel to it.
Yeah, so for example, Elite Dangerous is on the 360 now, but you could buy it when it was in preview for $30. Now it's a $60 title. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I got it. It's $15 if you're a gold member, $20 if you're not. It is a single-player survival adventure game.
You love those games. The survival game has become so popular lately.
Yeah.
You have Ark, you have Rust, you have
Forest.
You would think Minecraft kind of fits in that. I mean, it's not survival. The story mode kind of
crafting and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like survival game, it's probably because of Minecraft, but I don't find them as. I have a problem with no end, like the SimCity problem.
This supposedly there's definitely a narrative to this. Where a lot of those games don't.
Okay.
You pretty much it's in the future. Earth has been destroyed by a sun was heading for us. I don't know, maybe just a big comet or whatever.
Okay, that's fine.
Destroyed the Earth, but by that time we were able to get people off of the Earth in ships. This is like 100, 200 years in the future.
Okay.
And we're all hanging out by Pluto. And these colonizing ships, these 4 colonizing ships, was sent out looking for a new planet
to inhabit.
Yeah, think of like Interstellar kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Merv.
your ship
Sorry.
has crash landed on this planet, and it's called the Solus Project. Anyway, it is not that good.
With all that explanation, it's not that
Yeah,
great.
I didn't like it. And yeah, I like Rust.
You're
it's really the only other survival game I've tried. Ark, I don't really like it. But this was definitely a PC port, and I thought this came out for only Xbox One, and it wasn't until after I was like, this looks like a PC port. They looked up. The text is ridiculously small.
Right.
And I don't have the biggest TV. All right.
Right. But you
still,
have a big. You have like
it's a 46 inch.
That's a big
and
TV.
It's 1080p.
That's a big TV.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. And I had to get up from my couch and like
Read it.
squint my eyes and read
Right.
it.
It's just not. It's not given the
It's
care
definitely
yet.
for PC. It's for a monitor in front of your
What do
face.
we call it? A sit forward experience versus a lay back experience.
Exactly. And another thing I didn't like about this game is like there's areas. It's not like Rust where it's just one giant map. But in this game, there's these individual areas like the part where you start, and there's this next part.
Yeah.
There's loading screens in between each one, and that kind of breaks the immersion.
Yeah. We're kind of over
and
that.
it's their long loading screens too. Like it takes forever.
Tell me it tells you like a cool tip about the world or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Or like history of the universe. In
Yeah.
2020 AD, this happened.
So while I was playing this game the first time, my controller broke. I have
Your Xbox Elite.
Xbox One Elite controller, the $150 controller. I gotta get off my lawn.
Okay, here we go. Get off my lawn, Xbox.
All right, so what's that? I don't know what happened. I think it fell or something. Don't want to point fingers or name names. It doesn't matter. But what was happening is my right thumbstick was drifting. Now, if you know this,
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
like Tokyo Drift, David.
I know what
It's
it
not
means.
screeching
It just
around
means
the
that
curb here, David.
Okay.
It's I was like circling to the right.
Right.
So my was it the y-axis rotating?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've played arcade games. I know when things drift.
yeah.
That's
So you
always
know.
the worst. Yeah.
So I
can't
looked it up. I'm
Hadouken.
like, well, this is a $150 controller. There's gotta be a warranty on this. I'll just call Microsoft. It hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
Send it in, get it back, easy. I got two other controllers. I got 3 total.
Yeah, because you
Easy.
have the Master Chief one, and then you have a
And the
standard
original
one.
one. Yeah. So David, apparently, this $150 controller has the same exact 90-day warranty as a $60 controller. Not only that, but this $150 controller has the same components that are prone to breaking in Xbox One controllers as the original Xbox One controller.
Not so elite.
Not so elite, David. So
did you call?
No,
I
did not
have
call,
a
'cause I
story
was-
about
I was out of
Xbox's
warranty.
customer care if you want to get off my lawn from me.
No, I've had plenty of experience with customer care in 360 days. But
No,
no, I did
that's-
not call them because it was out of warranty, and they were just gonna. Their recommendation is to buy a new one, pretty much. So I definitely want to do that. So I'm like, you
Really?
know what? I don't need 3 controllers. I would really just like this one to work, and I got to spare the original one. So I'm gonna take it apart. There are plenty of guides online on how to do this. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna replace that little thumbstick assembly. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
2 broken controllers later.
2 broken controllers later.
you still have your third.
Nothing's working.
Yeah, of course.
I had to throw them away.
Yeah. No.
$200 of controllers in the garbage. It's really crappy.
Yeah.
But it's just
That
really
sucks. Well,
it's unfortunate that
they
like,
don't have like a repair.
nope. Buy a new
Re-
controller.
No, come on. There's
If
probably
it was a system, that's different. But controllers, just like normal accessories, just buy a new one.
That's insane.
Yep. I was very frustrated.
I would imagine.
I'm not going to get another Elite controller.
Why?
It's cool, but it's not $150 cool.
Right. You had me like it feels nice.
Feels great.
Yeah, it feels like a cool controller, but
And
not,
even like the customizable like thumbsticks and the rockers are cool, but it doesn't change my game experience that much. I don't play
You're
my
not that
Xbox
competitive,
enough. Yeah.
right.
I'm going to suck at Halo either way. No button or stick configuration is
And
going
now
to
you
change
can't
that.
blame it on the controller. That's why I
Yeah,
don't.
so now
get
I'm
it.
down to one Halo controller. They do have the new controller coming out with the Xbox One S. I'm probably gonna get that because it's Bluetooth, so I can sync it. I don't need cable anymore with my PC.
Then they have one.
It's a $60 controller.
You
though.
pledge your allegiance to your
I know.
Microsoft overlords.
But that is my get off my
No,
lawn.
the problem that I have, and this is what, Mike, I don't expect, they're a big corporation. They can do whatever they want. The problem that I have with Microsoft was that, and it's a lot of corporations, is I think the people that you call on the phone aren't really, they're either not employees or they're just, it's a call center. And not to say that call centers don't do a good job, and some people do. But I remember going back to the 360 days with the Red Ring of Death, it was like, you guys have publicly talked about this being a problem. You have publicly talked about it. My Red Ring of Death went like 1 week after the warranty expired, right? And I'm like, you have recognized as a company that something is wrong internally. This is before they did the
10-year
the 10-year thing,
yeah.
right? I was like, you guys have publicly talked about it. Like the designers, the engineers have talked about this issue, and I'm 1 month out of the warranty. You're
You
not
said
gonna,
a week before,
or
David.
whatever. It was like a week, or it was a short amount of time. And she was like, yeah, I can't do anything. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's like if you were talking about a recall, and then of course, it took another 6 months before, I could actually send it where they send you the coffin, which was always cool.
Xbox coffin, yeah.
Yeah. But I was just
you get it.
But here's the problem. You get mad at the person on the phone and they're just doing their job. And they can't do anything. And I'm like, can you transfer me to somebody? They're like, sir, I can't transfer you. I'm like,
At least the service for the Xbox is not that bad. Try calling Microsoft Office 365 support, David, and you'll be on the phone for 5 hours.
Right, good luck.
No lie. I've been there.
All right. What else you got for us other than complaining about Microsoft?
That's pretty... Oh, I got a new mobile game came out. Dots & Co. Dots & Company, I assume is what it's short for.
Dots?
Dots.
Okay, DOTS. Okay.
Like a piece
Department
of
of Transportation. Got it.
Exactly. It's a train game. But anyway, so it's the third Dots game from this company called Play Dots Inc. They're very on the nose about the dots.
Yeah, I got it.
It's very addicting, David.
Is it like a puzzle game?
Yeah. So, like the game Dots, right? What they make the boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that. But you're trying to match colors and get rid of the board. Think of like Candy Crush or any other match 3 game.
Right.
And there's like, oh, this one's covered in ice, so you gotta break it 3 times, blah, blah. So it's like those kind of games.
That kind of game. Mindless, fun.
Very fun, very addicting. The art style it's like all that construction paper on top, like layering kind of
that's cool.
effect. So it's very cool. The music's excellent. David?
You know what's funny about music that you mentioned it with mobile games? I don't think enough games think about that. Because, I think a lot of people just turn it all the way down. But if you have good music, I'll listen to it. A lot of people play the same one song. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
This is a free game, David.
Good.
Which means it has microtransactions.
Of course it does. And that's fine.
And so I don't play a lot of mobile games on my phone. I have Pokemon Go, of course. Gotta mention that at least once a week.
You can't say then you don't play a lot of mobile games.
But even before Pokemon Go, I played Hearthstone, primarily on my iPad, but also on my iPhone.
Right.
Best game while pooping. Gonna put out there.
2015, that won the award. We should make an award for that, by the way. That would be funny.
But other than that, I don't really play mobile games. So, this is the fun little match 3 thing, but, I figured out why. And I used to play Candy Crush a lot, because it's stupid,
did you?
But it's... Yeah, I did, actually.
Did you spend money?
No.
You sure?
Yes. Well, but that's when I had an Android phone, and I had an app that would hack the APK
of course.
and get paid stuff.
Would you send, friend request or whatever? You should play Candy Crush.
No, because I hated those.
Oh my god!
And I got rid of the game. I blocked the game because I stopped playing and you keep getting requests.
If you do that, if you're that person, stop it. None of your friends like you. Don't do that.
Ask them first. You play Candy Crush? I'm gonna send you this invite and you send me and we'll trade it. We'll trade to get whatever.
Right. That's fine. If it's a mutual frustration between the two of you, but
it just bugs me. So in this, when you do a level, you use 3 energy, right?
Yeah.
And if you keep failing because you suck at this game, you're out of energy and you got to wait 10 minutes for the energy recharge. Or you can pay, David.
Of course, right.
Refill the energy.
I played a game called Triple Town. Why is it always 3? Match 3. But anyways, go ahead.
But there's, or there's different power-ups that do different things in the game. There's do this or do that. You can upgrade your character, but that uses this kind of currency. It's just... Stop it.
Does that immediately turn you off of the game? Or
yeah.
See, I don't get so mad at it as long as it's not shoved in your face. I expect them to make money. They should, I don't expect everybody to put out a free game.
I'd pay $3 or $5 for this game and never not have any of that stuff.
Yeah, but they'll make more money the other way.
No, I know they do. It's just
because I don't think you would have.
It's frustrating that's where our industry is going.
I don't see it as a bad thing. I will have to have a bigger discussion about free games, but I don't think it's a bad thing because it allows people to try things out.
It's not frustrating yet, only because once it gets to the point where it's so hard, where it's almost like, okay, you have to buy this, then I'm going to uninstall the game. I'm not at that point yet. But that's at the point now because I don't want to put any money into it.
It's not like banging your head against the wall in order to actually enjoy the game.
Exactly.
Grinding is enjoyable, is what you're saying.
Can be, yeah.
Right.
But to the point where it's not, then I'll just uninstall the game. But Pokemon Go is a different example. That's a free game. I've put $10 into it. I got some Poke Coins.
Right.
But I've spent hours outside playing that game.
Yeah, that's true. But you're not. You're the minority. People have spent a lot of money.
It's just frustrating when you're playing a free game.
A lure is a couple bucks, right? For one.
I don't know.
Because I see them everywhere, and I don't know if that's generated through the app.
You level up, and every few levels you'll get a lure, or you'll get an incense or something.
Okay, I've gotten incense, but I'm only level 7. I caught a Bulbasaur this week. Speaking of Pokemon,
nice.
But anyways, I was pretty excited.
But yeah,
I didn't catch it. I hatched it. Everybody, I don't want to lie on
it's
this
a
podcast.
2K egg, right? Because 2 eggs you can get starters.
Yeah, I'm close to my 10K getting done. I don't even know what's in there.
You know what I got out of mine?
What?
Freaking Eevee.
Oh, that's
very frustrating.
I want Ash to pop out of that egg.
It's red. No, but Yeah, just when there's like multiple different currencies and multiple things to buy, and it's like they obviously they want your money. It's just that's frustrating.
And that's fine. Like I said, I think it's for me as long as it's not thrown in your face constantly, which some free games do.
Definitely do. Well, I gotta watch this ad. Like any of those games where like you have to watch this ad in between turns, the game's done.
Oh well, it depends on how often, but yeah, in between turns. The thing that I always enjoy is like the game's free, but if you want the game, if you want to get more XP more quickly, then you pay. And I'm like, okay. It's just the carrot at the end of the stick is not. It has to be really good for me to dump in money. But I think more and more. I don't know necessarily. This is just an anecdote for me. More and more games that are like $3.99 and $5.99, I'm like, I'll just buy it because like I'm like, I know I'll like it enough that
it's got like, good reviews and stuff like that.
Well, that's like Jordan would always tell us like if it's $6, like it doesn't matter how much enjoyment, it's too expensive.
I think he said like if it's $1,
right? And that's my point. Like people are so used to it being free versus when it's $1, it's like, hey, God Rocks, take it easy. It's like. It's $1. Like
I paid $5. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 on my iPad. It's amazing. I love it.
Is it
the
good?
Original, like just like the original.
Wait, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3? Because 2 is the best one.
I think it could be 2. Oh, it is 3. It's really good.
3 is the one I think you can do like 3D. You can get on the coaster. And
yeah.
2 is the best one.
I know, but it's like the full game, just like on PC. Cool. It's excellent. I love it.
I want to play more
games.
Worth
$5.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
But anyway, I think that's it, David. David, what you doing?
A couple things. I wanted to talk about a game that I just finished. Doom. I just played Doom on the PC. Remember, I'm getting through all the Steam Summer Sale games that I bought.
Is that the game based on that Rock movie?
Yeah, it's based. Okay, first of all, let's talk about that for a second.
The big friendly giant.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Big
friendly those gun. Mixed up.
No, the ending of that movie is hilarious. I wish they did that.
The FPS scene.
Yeah, the FPS scene is great. Okay, so this Doom came out this year. Bethesda and id. It is a lot of fun. It is definitely a throwback to when did they come out? Like 93? It's weird. I'm like playing Pokemon and Doom. It's weird.
We're back.
Exactly. It's like, what's going on? But it's a lot of fun because it has that quick twitch first person shooter. Enemy spawn. There's a room full of enemies. You jump around, platforming. It's that Quake. I love that. I love that. So much fun. The animations are brutal. You get like the giant chainsaw and you can cut people in half. Yeah. So and the bad guys are, and there's like little. It's a huge homage to the original. Like they even like the guys the flying red heads that spit out things. When you used to hit them, they were like meow, 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 meow. That sound effect is still in.
Really? That's
cool.
And
it's way out of place because it's like super weird. The story is paper thin. But what is his name again? John
Carmack.
Carmack. I was reading something about this, and he was saying, well, a story in a Doom game is like a story in a porn movie. Like it could be there, but it's not really necessary.
That's not why people come to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So that was too easy of a joke right there.
Phrasing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, it's definitely like you ever play like the Serious Sam Quake Arena.
Like, yeah, I don't like any of these games.
Oh, see, anyway. I enjoy them because it's a refreshing to just have a game where it's like I just want to just go crazy with all these crazy guns.
We played Serious Sam at I think one of the latest ones, with the aliens and stuff, at a LAN party one time. It was just not good. I don't like the super fast. I don't like that.
It's super like I'm sweating. It's intense. My eyeballs hurt because I don't blink.
Sweating.
No, because it's intense, and they have like the best like rock music they play.
Actually, what's that thing called where you put the audio in was it seismograph? Not a seismograph. Where you can like see the visualization of the song. If you do that with all the Doom tracks, it has a pentagram 666 pentagram in
cool.
the audio.
That's cool. But it's I like when you get the game like immediately drops you in. You're the Space Marine, the Doom Slayer, and you're on Mars. And of course they opened up a portal to Hell, and they're using the Argent energy from Hell because like Hell has really good energy. So they're utilizing that to power, like, it gives them like crazy, high levels of power. But of course, someone becomes a zealot and wants to help the demonic demons come into Mars and release them. And of course, they open up a portal and you're trying to shut it down. And the characters actually are pretty cool. Like, there's like an AI who's kind of telling you what's going on in the game. But the game boils down to walk into a room, doors shut, over thing tells you there's demonic presence. You have to clear it before we'll open up before the override can be switched on or whatever. Kill all the things. Doors go down. You go pick up a key. Go into another.
Repeat.
Rinse and repeat. But I will say there's a couple boss fights that are so awesome.
Also, they bring back the classic.
They bring up like
big demon, like towering.
Oh my god! And you get awesome guns, super shotgun. You get the BFG later on in the game. You get all of the stuff, and it's definitely a romp down. Like it feels like a classic game. I haven't played any of the multiplayer. I've heard bad things about the multiplayer because I think it's trying to be, the Call of Duty style with perks and things like that, and that's not what Doom ever was.
Yeah.
But they do also have a Snap, I think it's called Snap Map, where you can like create maps and stuff like that. So people have started to do like the Forge stuff with Halo. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. Cool. Like stuff that's not Doom, like racing and stuff like that.
Ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, cool stuff like that. But I would recommend it because if you like that type of game, it's cool to have a throwback to that where it's just like running around and killing a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just the animations are great.
Music, rock music.
It's super like smooth. Like the platforming is really smooth. It's so fast.
How's it look on PC?
Fantastic.
Oh yeah,
looks great. Probably one of the best looking games. Like the demons, all of the characters, they look great, and they use like the imps and stuff from the original one,
Remnants or something.
Yeah, and like the dog looking thing they're creepy. Some of the boss battles are like, holy crap! Like this is gonna thanks for the nightmare. Like that's gonna attack me.
I never played Doom growing up. My first game like that was Quake.
Yeah, but you told me they're making there was a mod for Doom that you played as a kid.
Chex Quest. Did anybody play Chex Quest? Email us or leave a comment if you played Chex Quest. Chex Quest was amazing. You got a little CD-ROM in
Chex the cereal.
Yeah, in the cereal.
Okay.
And it was a Doom clone.
Yeah.
And you had the Scorcher, which is the gun, the Super Scorcher. And you're fighting they're like green goo guys and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That was my first Doom game. But no,
it was essentially because there was with Doom, any violent video game back in the early 90s, there was a big backlash from every parent on the planet.
Yeah, my first foray into that was Quake. That was my thing.
Right.
So it was after Doom. But yeah,
it's fun to play those games because there's not many of them around anymore, especially that are given this AAA polish.
Yeah, you have like Unreal Tournament and stuff, but that's not nearly as big as like.
Well, just the amount of polish and how clean and how good this game looks. But the story's actually, they leave it on a cliffhanger, which is cool. So I hope it made its money, to make a second one.
Definitely did, yeah.
You think so? It's that successful? Because I bought it on the Steam sale and it was pretty cheap, but then it was like $30. It was worth it. And it's long. It's like a 9-hour campaign. I'm not really a multiplayer guy, so I thought it was fun enough. Like it was almost outstaying its welcome. Like if it went a little bit longer, I was like, okay, like how many how many demons are in hell? Like God, I've killed all of them. But it's fun. It's a good game. I like it, and if you're a Doom fan, you got to play it. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so the other things that I played a new board game. What else?
Surprise!
It's called Quadropolis, and I have the box right here. So for our YouTube fans, they can actually see the box. So this is a city building game. It's 2 to 4 players. And what's actually really cool about the game... Oh, holy crap. It's the demon dogs from hell. No, in this game, it's a city building game where what's unique about it is you've played... Remember we talked about Between Two Cities? I think we actually reviewed it.
It kind of looks like that.
Yeah, so you're building cities. There's all the players have like their own 4x4 grid. Where they build their city. You're your own mayor of your city, and you're putting these city tiles, these building tiles, into your city. And certain buildings want to be next to certain other buildings, so at the end of the game you get points. So like things like, the shops want to be near the factories, and the factories want to be near the harbors, and you want to try to make your like apartment buildings as tall as possible. So that's all kind of a traditional game. Lots of games have done that. What kind of sets this apart is how you get the tiles. In most games, you do like a thing where there's like a common area where you can buy and they'll get cheaper.
Like the drafting thing.
Like a drafting thing. Yeah. This one is, there's actually, in the center of the table, there's a 5x5 grid. And you flip over tiles randomly for each round. There's 4 rounds. And then each player has 4 architects. And essentially what the architects look like is an arrow. It's a cardboard tile that has an arrow, and you have them numbered 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And so what you do is you point it at a row or a column that you want to get a tile, and then whatever number is on your architect. So let's say you have, let's say we're at the top left of the 5x5, and you put a 2 pointing down in the first column. Then you'll actually count down from where your arrow's pointing 1, 2 spots, and you take that tile.
Okay.
That's pretty straightforward. The thing is that no one can put their architect on top of yours. So you've kind of claimed that
whole row,
that whole column, but the row could go this way, right?
Right.
Or they could go from the opposite side of the bottom of the board and shoot up through the column and grab one. But your city has different columns and rows that are numbered too. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So whenever architect you use to go buy a tile, you have to then put it in either your 2 column or your 2 row.
Oh, interesting.
So your architect doesn't only pick your building tile, but it also dictates where it's going to end up in your city that you're building.
Right.
So it's kind of this cool like Rubik's Cube thing. Because constantly what we were doing is like, I know I want that tile, but how do I get it in this spot? Do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? Do I go to the bottom? Like when you're trying to use your architects. And then there's also a functionality of certain buildings give you certain resources. And what's really different about this game, I've already explained one difference. Another difference is, remember I talked about, if this is next to this and if this is as tall as it is, at the end of the game, those buildings have to be, they're called activated. You have to provide them with a certain resource at the end of the game. If you don't, then they don't get any points. So you're balancing building your city in the correct kind of puzzle, and you're also managing resources to make sure at the end of the game you have enough. And if you have a surplus, you get negative points for that. The idea is they say it's like
have the exact amount.
Yeah, you don't want inhabitants that's like homeless people and pollution because it's energy and population is what you're gathering through it. I know it kind of sounds complicated as far as my explanation, but I've pretty much explained everything. It is a lot of fun, and it's actually very easy to play. It's one of those games, like, as soon as we did the first one, you'd be like, I get it, okay. But then you start going, okay, I know I want the factory on this row because I need to put it in my third column on my city. So how do I do that? And there's a chance that, like, you could end up with, like, one of your architects can't grab a tile. Because you go around and around, you place one of your architects and another person places their architect on this 5x5 main center board. Mm-hmm. You can kind of screw people over because let's say you're after me and I see all you have left is a 1, and there's no more city tiles that are around the border, which is the only way you would get a 1. Maybe there's only 1 left, and I take it so that I know you can't get a tile as your last turn. So there's a little bit of take that, but I love city building games because, and in almost any kind of game where you're building something, is even when you lose, even if you lose,
you accomplish something.
Yeah, you look down and you're like, my city's the best. I know it's not the most points, but it's the coolest. Like everybody, it's huge. It's a beautiful city. It's got the tallest towers. No, just kidding.
It's going to be great.
No, it's really cool. It's made by the same people. Days of Wonder. They make 5 Tribes. They make Ticket to Ride. They make a bunch of different games. Memoir 44.
Yep.
So the components are through the roof. Fantastic components. They have a classic version, which is the version I've played, and then they also have an expert version, which I'm going to play with Alyssa. We were playing with my dad and my stepmom, and they loved it. Like they're board gamers, quote unquote. Like they like board games now. But I'm always like, I don't want to push it. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, we're not going to play Battlestar Galactica.
Right. But this one, you're
a Cylon, Dad.
Well, I try to have a window of like, if it takes me more than 20 minutes to explain it, I probably don't want to play it. Yeah. But I asked them, I was like, what did you guys like about this game? And they were like, it's so easy to learn. Like it took you 10 minutes to explain it, and we played the first round and we were like, got it. Now, of course, knowing the scoring at the end of the game kind of matters, so I try to pinpoint that. But really cool artwork, really cool design, real simple and streamlined, but it has that strategy punch. Mm-hmm. Really good. I recommend everybody. Yeah. It's a cool game. Plus, it's city building. Again, I think those are always the best kind of games you can introduce to people because even if they ultimately lose, they have something that they can look at.
It's not like a war game where they're getting pummeled or all
right. At the end of the game, you don't have an army. That's how you lose. It's not like a player elimination type of game. So that's Quadropolis. So I played that. The last thing I want to talk about for what you're doing, and it'll curtail into our review of the week, is I started watching some of the original series of Star Trek.
And like 60s really.
Yeah, like the
Shatner.
I watched the pilot, which doesn't have Will Shatner as
really
Jim Kirk. Yeah, no, he's not the captain. It's actually what's funny, in the new Star Trek movies. I forget his name, Pike, Captain Pike, who's the guy that's kind of like the mentor to... That's the character that is in the pilot.
Oh, it's Pike?
Yeah, it's Pike.
Oh.
So there's some So anyways, I went back and watched probably about 6 episodes of the original series. I've seen all of the original series when I was like a little kid. And I was watching it because it was like science fiction. The show is actually really good. Like it's actually like for the 60s, it's a 60s TV show. So it's going to be
corny.
Right. And like the special effects don't look great, but it's from the 60s. Like I will just say a couple things. This show is like very sexist. Like, it's definitely made in the 60s.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it's definitely a product of
Well, it
its
was a
time.
big deal for Uhura and stuff to be on there, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, there was
And
a
the
big
kiss and all that
well,
stuff.
that and like Zulu or Zulu. Sulu. Like, you know, like, well, that was the whole thing with Roddenberry, was this idea that like tearing down like walls of like what separates us, because like we don't fight about that anymore because we got everything we need. But it's also you know, there is a tremendous in the pilot. The yeoman comes up who's like essentially like, think of like a squire for somebody in like Game of Thrones, kind of their assistant. The yeoman comes up for the Captain Pike and he gets all mad at her. He's like, I told you, like, I don't like women on the bridge.
Jesus.
And then
dude.
number one in this show, there's a female officer who's not his number one, not Spock, and she's like, I'm, and he's like, oh, you're different, which essentially means like you're not as attractive. It's just like, what?
Wow.
It's just very striking because like,
Yeah.
and there's also a couple things in the show where it's like every female bad guy, like who's like an alien bad guy, they like use their good looks to like lure the men into traps.
Of course,
just like,
of course.
oh my god. It is still fun to watch because of kind of seeing. It's crazy. Star Trek's 50 years old. It's crazy to think that. Like, that's a long time. And like Leonard Nimoy is fantastic as Spock. The guy who plays Bones is great. I can't remember his name now. I looked up all this stuff. I just can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. But it's a fun show to watch, especially because it's like this was television in the 60s. And what's interesting is I guess the original pilot, they were like, no. Didn't get signed.
Acting and stuff?
No, they didn't sign it. It was just like, so they made it. I think the person who was helping Roddenberry pitch it to somebody was a friend of his and said, hey, give him a second chance. Let him do another one. And then that's when they had Shatner on, and then it got signed. And then, of course, the rest is history.
But it's just funny. Like, I didn't know that. And I'm thinking like the first of the new Kelvin timeline movies.
Yeah.
Had, you know, Pike as the original Enterprise captain and Kurt.
No, that's
so I'm
why.
like, oh, I didn't know that.
Right, and I don't
plays into
remember
that
that, and I was
original
like,
show.
oh man, I wish I knew that. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
what's
kinda
cool.
plays
And this
into it.
just shows you should be a fan of like this stuff. Like, you
I'm
get
just not a Trekkie, you know. I'm a Star Wars guy. Sorry.
but it's also cool because the show, you know, the show obviously, you know, with the Next Generation and the original series and all of them, they tackle different things, right? They tackle
And like you said, they broke cultural barriers.
right? And they always ask like, you know, difficult questions like, hey, does the needs of the many outweigh the few? Like, does like, what is our place in the universe? Like, you know, and they've done that marvelously, and that's what makes a show more philosophical than like Star Wars or whatever. So. They're not answering big questions with Star Wars. I mean, not like they do in not like with Star Trek, but
Snoke.
I would say people go back and watch it because it is cool to kind of see the evolution of you know, where it all started. Like, it's always fun to see something that's been around for so long and has become so pop culture, you know, mainstream, to be like, this is where it started. Like, that's pretty cool. But definitely a product of the 1960s. For sure. It's just super weird. Okay, so
leading into.
Yeah, so that's our segue into our standard review. This week, we both went and saw the new movie, Star Trek
Beyond. Come on, dude.
I was like, it doesn't matter. It's a new Star Trek movie. It's the third one in the new series.
The Kelvin timeline.
Is that what it's called? Kelvin? Why is it called Kelvin?
Because that was the USS Kelvin that got destroyed.
Okay. So we went and saw it today, and so a little bit of background with this. This is obviously takes part with the reboot that was a few years ago.
The Kelvin timeline?
No, I know, but I'm saying it's got Chris Pine. What's his name?
Zachary Quinto.
Siler.
Eat your brains.
It's weird because he has like really big eyebrows, like on that show Heroes, or like in real life, I think.
Yeah.
And then like he has like this tiny.
We got the Vulcan.
It's just weird.
Shape him down.
Yeah, I know. You have Carl Urban as Bones, Dr. McCoy, and it's just they've done an excellent job with the reboot. That's needless to say. With the first two movies, I think the first one is better than the second one.
Yes.
This one has gotten pretty good praise so far through Rotten Tomatoes and some of the press release stuff.
Yes, it has.
So we went and saw it before we. With this one, it's kind of a new bad guy, who's played by Idris Elba.
Yep.
We'll get into our review, but let's do the standard review.
Okay.
Thumbs out. Remember, thumbs up is a great movie. Thumbs to the side is a good movie. Thumbs down is a
question
bad
about this.
Yes.
David.
Okay.
I want to change our ratings.
Okay. What's our rating?
Thumbs down, bad. Thumbs to the side, thumbs up, good, or great.
No, see, that's why
I don't like good and great.
Okay, well you can explain. If yours is to the side, it could be or good. And
Yeah,
you
we're
can
doing
explain.
meh to the side, bad down, great up.
How about 2 thumbs for great?
No,
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2 thumbs up.
come on now.
This I really enjoyed this movie.
Me too. Better than the second one.
I think this might be my favorite of the 3.
No, mine's really close. I gotta watch the first one again. It's just the origins are so tough to beat. Origin stories are.
That's true. I do like
But this
that.
one's really good.
The bad guy in this one was a lot more, and we're not going to spoil anything. We'll talk maybe some little bit of spoilers towards the end, and we'll give you a visual and an audio cue to let you know. But the bad guy is really interesting in this. I like his motivation. I like that the characters now all are. You can tell that they are comfortable acting, like the actors themselves. Some of the dialogue between the characters in this, like. I know when I enjoy something that I think is genuinely very funny because I will laugh and then I'll pause and then I'll laugh again because I'll think about it and I'm like, wow, that's like really, really well.
You know what the comedy reminds me of in this movie?
Huh.
Reminds me of the MCU movies.
Right.
Like the personality between the character and the actors even. You know,
Right.
you see the personality, the character, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just those quick quips that are just they're so funny.
Yeah, and they tackle
A lot of those moments.
And obviously the movie has a lot of action because it's a movie made in 2016, so it's gonna be it's a blockbuster.
Not only that, it's directed by Justin Lin,
yeah.
who directed the last few Fast and Furious, which is they're obviously amazing.
Captain Kirk lives his life by quarter mile at a time.
Exactly.
No, there's great action in it, but they tackle some pretty interesting like philosophical issues that are like hallmarks of the Star Trek universe. It's one of the problems that you can always run into when you're making, Rocky 3 or whatever third in the franchise is like, what do we do now? Like they actually they kind of take the audience serious. Like, hey, you watch the first 2.
Yeah.
Cause they actually make some pretty interesting jokes to the first 2. That I don't know would hit the same resonance if you didn't watch the first 2, but the relationships between the characters you should know.
Yeah. By now, yeah.
Right. Well, I'm saying that's what the film feels like. Like you should know this. That's why it's funny. You know what I mean?
Maybe you got to point out those when we do spoilers.
Yeah. Well, it's just more of like these characters get along, and these characters have a weird relationship, and these characters don't get along. And
and they don't really explain. They don't. Yeah,
they don't.
They assume. Okay. Yeah,
right. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's not spoiling anything. But it's actually refreshing. It's like a Game of Thrones thing. Like, hey, we're taking you serious. Like, pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, you won't know. And meaning when I say
it's the third, like you said, it's the third movie in the franchise. You should have seen it by now. If you're not, why are you here? Yeah.
There are some set pieces in this movie. They go to a space station in this movie, like a big space station, like of the Federation. I will say, I was like, I want to see a movie set in this space station. Like,
right.
Talk about one of the most beautiful movies,
Yorktown,
I've ever seen in a science fiction movie. I was like, this place is gorgeous. Like,
and it's cool how they explain like the gravity and how all that stuff works.
It's just it's cool. I couldn't, and like the costume design, the makeup, like it's all just seamless. It makes me want to play. Like, I want to be there. Like, I want to meet all these aliens and read the codex about this alien and what are their background and where do they come from. No, seriously, like because it's so eye-catching and so stunning. And there was a moment in the movie where I'm not going to spoil anything, but I actually like for a second I was like, I'm watching a movie. Like, I know a movie is good when I'm like I wasn't thinking about like what I have to do after the movie. Like,
it's the immersion, man.
No, the immersion
in the movie.
No, it was really, really good. They have new characters that they introduced. They have a new bad guy that they introduced. All well acted.
Yep.
All over. The action scenes are all well choreographed. Which you got Justin Lin at this point he knows what he's doing. Right.
Drove a car in between 2 buildings in Dubai. All right, he knows what he's doing, David.
Yeah, it's cool. And there's some throwbacks to the kind of the original series stuff. There's some throwbacks.
The very beginning of the movie felt like an end of an episode.
Right.
Star Trek. There's actually a joke at the beginning of the movie. This doesn't spoil the story or anything. But he's like, Stardate, blah, 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 doing his log. He's like, and it's beginning to feel a little episodic. I'm like, aha!
Right.
TV.
Right. They like I said, they're well aware of what they, their heritage, and that's good. Obviously, I want to mention this because it's a bittersweet, seeing the character Chekhov because obviously
Anton, that's sad.
it's just super sad, and he's so good in it. Like,
and they said that they're not going to replace his character. They'll figure. They don't know how they're going to do it, but they're not going to recast his character, which is the best way to do it.
Yeah, just introduce a new person, but he's so good in it. Like, and he gets it. Like, actually,
he's like the ladies' man too.
Yeah, and what's cool about this film is it feels like a Fellowship of the Ring. There's a part in the movie where characters kind of get split up, and it's like Game of Thrones, right? Like, oh, I want that character to be with that character because they have good banter. Like, that happens in this, and it's done very well.
And the previous two movies were mainly Kirk and Spock.
Right.
So this movie's like, you had Peg, I mean, you had Scotty, you had Anton, you check off whatever, you had Sulu, but they weren't as integral. In this movie, they definitely are. Like you said, there's
everybody
people,
gets
their own pairing and stuff, their own adventures that they get into.
Right.
So it's refreshing to see.
That's why this movie, and like you're talking about the MCU, is that they're kind of every character's been established. So now we can have fun with, hey, let's mix this character with that character.
Thor Ragnarok's gonna be Thor and Hulk. That sounds amazing.
No, I know. That's my point. Is like, you have so many great characters, and you can feed off of. Okay, so how does this character interact with this character? And there are some genuinely funny parts. Like, I'm not joking when I know it's funny when I get laugh with the audience, and then I think, and I'm like, that's a really funny joke. Like, really well executed and well written, and like only those characters could give that, and it's really, really good. So go see it. It's fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough.
Sitting right now at 85% Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh, so it's definitely.
I was at like 90 earlier this week, so some people are poo-pooing on it. Whatever.
But 85. That's an excellent movie.
For on Rotten Tomatoes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for like, and I always think about this with the Star Wars and the Star Trek and the the huge franchises that have been around for 30 plus years. They almost don't have to be a good movie. They're gonna make
people it's like Transformers. Everyone knows movies are bad, but they make
a ton of money,
right?
And that's my point. Is like it's refreshing when they actually do a good job.
Of course. Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about with Star Trek?
Spoiler stuff?
No. Well, okay, yeah. Let's get into a little bit. I don't really have much spoiler stuff to talk about. Do you want to spoil it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a few spoilers here. Skip ahead. I think it's only I'll put like a musical thing. I thought about this to make it easier for people if they're skipping. If they hear like a little music thing in the back. No, it'll be playing throughout the whole thing.
Oh,
so here the music is starting. Oh, that's nice. We don't hear it, but you hear it. So we're going to talk about some spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, skip ahead. And I'll put stuff in the notes to let you know where we stop talking about it. Okay, so what do you want to talk about with spoilers? For me, the only thing I really want to talk about is I love the motivation of the bad guy.
Oh yeah, I loved it. It all made sense because what really frustrated me about the second one and why this one is better is like, it's not Khan. Okay, it's not Khan. It's not Khan.
Right,
it is Khan.
Course, right.
And like it was.
I like his motivation though too.
Yeah, but it's not as good as this character. It was totally out of left field. It was totally unexpected. Where Khan was, you saw that coming from a mile away.
Right.
So this is totally different. And like you said, his motivations were excellent. It all made sense within the story.
No, but it's cool the idea of like, okay, we think about if the Federation happened and like we stopped having war and we were able to, basically the holodeck could make everything we want. We could start focusing on the 5-year mission to go see the.
Well, that's what the TV shows were always about, like
right.
To boldly explore strange new worlds. But the first two movies never did that. But it wasn't until the end of the second movie. Now
they were dealing with like a threat, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's cool about this is like, well, there's some ramifications of that. It's kind of like what we talk about, like driverless cars. Like there's some like all of that technology is great, but like you're hurting an industry.
Yep.
And in here, the character obviously, if you've seen it again, spoiler alert, him being a soldier and like there's no more battlefield. You're not needed. And he's like, they just put me in a ship. Like I'm the square peg in a round hole. Like
I'm a soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, they didn't care about me. They cared about moving society forward. But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a interesting
Not
question.
only that, but that's exactly what Kirk was doing.
Right.
He'd be like, I'm going to be an admiral. I don't want to do the ship. And at the very end, he's like, they don't get to fly around and do anything? Never mind. I'm going to keep my ship.
Right, because he enjoys the adventure. He has a bit of the soldier in him, too. I will say there's parts of this movie where I'm like, everybody, like, I get it. They're Federation trained and stuff. I'm like, for a society that doesn't deal with war very often, everyone's very well trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Right? Like the communications officer is kicking these aliens' ass. I'm like, okay, Zoe Saldana, do your thing.
I know, but it's just like... What? And they have like armor on. That's fine. I'm not going to let that. But I loved the set pieces here were really well done. I like the planet that they were on. I like the idea of that the ship was there. Like, how was the ship there? Oh, he put it there. It was like not crash landing, because I'm like, how does he not know about the ship? And her like doing the refracting stuff, and they did it really cool in the movie.
He's like, oh, hello, my old friend, when he saw the ship flying and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like, it's just like, and that's the thing. Like, you don't get that until the end. Like, there's little things. Okay, we got to talk about the Beastie Boys song. So cool.
Stupid. Just like the Fast and Furious movies and stuff, it's dumb. That whole sequence, it was dumb, but it was fun.
I actually, thematically it makes sense, because this idea if everybody was if they're flying that close together to like create like a larger thing, they have to have like a hive mind, and if you could somehow wreck that, like they would just smash into each other.
No, I understand.
Right, but that's like the Beastie Boys things. That's the Justin Lin part. But it's a cool callback to the original movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Where he's in the old Mustang and he's playing it and throws the top off and then jumps out of the car at the very end. Like, and he even says, the weird thing in this is they're like, is this classical music? I'm like, that's where I was like, 2 on the nose. I was like, you didn't need to do that. But Carl Urban,
when the ship is surfing a wave of the alien ships, exploding in their way.
And they do like the corkscrew through.
Yeah, I'm like, this is so ridiculously awesome. Like, I love it.
Right, and that's why I think he knows like when to strike that chord, because it could come off really bad and really cheesy and cringeworthy. But for some reason, I think it's because it's like he embraces like, oh yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Right. I know that, but like, it's fun.
Right, and so we in the non-spoiler part, we kept talking about the interactions with the characters, like Carl Urban and what's his name,
Zachary Quinto
they should do like a show together, because they are.
Right? I want to see like their side movie, their hijinks.
They are so funny, like. Holy crap! Like,
and Bones is always funny. He's always like, I don't care,
Yeah, no, but that's
grumpy and stuff.
No, but I literally, there's so many times I laughed with those two characters. Like, I want them to go on an away mission together. Like, every time they went on, I was like, please bring those two together. Like, and Simon Pegg is great, and he wrote part of him.
And you could tell, because there are definitely more Simon Pegg or Scotty lines in this, but there is it for everyone. But yeah, he helped co-wrote the movie.
And he has moments like his stuff, like Spaced and Shaun of the Dead, where it's like. It's that observational humor, and then like kind of messes with it, like keeps going on. It's just, I really enjoyed this movie. I think Star Trek is in such a good place because it definitely it asks big questions, and it does it subtly, which is good because you don't want to like beat your audience over the head with it. It's got enough action. I think Justin Lin was a good pick because it kind of like, okay, now here's the action, like. And like that first scene when they hit the ship with all the little hive ships, and how the makeup was good. It didn't feel like too overdone. There was one part where I was like, oh, it's a little overdone. But when you oh god, I can't remember the specific part. When they're coming in and he lands on the ship and he like looks up. I don't know if it's just the lighting. I think maybe it was the first time I saw him.
Crawl gets out of the ship.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this looks a little. And also the thing with the head crab thing.
No, that was disgusting.
Right, but it's also
kind of alien.
Right, but there's parts of it where I'm like, and I think this is ultimately just a problem with having seen so many science fiction properties. I'm like, oh, that alien looks like a Solarian from blah blah blah, from Mass Effect, and it's like, no, Star Trek was first, buddy. But it's cool. I like, and there's so much of a universe built in this. And when you go to Yorktown, I swear that was one of the most beautiful, like. Pan over the city and like the people and everyone's like
seeing the skyscrapers like on the bottom and on the top,
look gorgeous. And then when they're just going through like to dock
under the water,
yeah, it's just so cool, man. I was like, this is so cool. The world building in this is fantastic. So
JJ is already talking up the fourth one. He says it's gonna be the best in the Kelvin timeline. I don't know who's directing it though. Chris Hemsworth is coming back.
Oh, they're gonna do like a prequel.
So they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do time travel or something.
Yeah, the whole thing with Ambassador, I get it. It's obviously a big tip of the hand to Leonard Nimoy passed away.
Well, I think that's cool. So like,
no, it is cool.
You got the picture of the old crew and
that's
stuff. It's cool that all that happened in the canon,
right?
But this is the offshoot, the Kelvin timeline again.
Right,
so they're making their own
universe,
thing, but keeping all the original stuff and making it work.
Right, and that's cool. It's just kind of, it's going to confuse a lot of people.
I don't think it will.
I think it will. Because the time travel thing was already kind of confusing. The alternate unit reality with the Romulans and going into the black hole and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they explained it well enough.
Yeah, 2 movies ago. I'm saying for the general audience, I think it's going to be like, what? Leonard Nimoy?
You gotta go back and watch those movies.
No,
if you're a fan.
No. But I think, again, it's just so good. They don't beat you over the head with it. And the whole idea of like, it's that movie where everybody doesn't know if they want to keep doing what they're doing, and then they go through this mission together and they realize, no, I do want to do this.
And I'm actually glad that this did so well, because this summer has been a lot of bombs this summer of sequels and all this kind of stuff. So No,
Really?
You don't agree?
No. I think there's been some really good movies this summer.
The sequels.
Maybe not. I don't know. I've been watching
a lot of busts this year.
You know what it is? I think it's TV's catching up, like we talked about earlier. Okay, so we're done with the spoilers.
Yeah,
But TV. I think TV's catching up with movies. Speaking of TV
and more movies.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to do our story of the century
of the week.
Yeah, always a good line there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week's story of the century of the week is San Diego Comic-Con. Now it's not even over yet.
Today was the first big Hall H. So
Yeah.
a lot of trailers and teasers and things and cool nerd news. And...
Yeah, there's been a lot of news out of it. Always. There was and you wanted. Maybe we'll do a Star Wars Day thing too, celebration, because we didn't talk about that last week. But let's start with San Diego Comic-Con. So as always, a bunch of trailers come out. If you're a superhero fan,
let's start with Marvel or DC. David?
Let's do DC.
Damn it. Okay. So their Wonder Woman trailer. That's the next of the DC, the DCU.
That's
the
next
DCU.
Next movie coming out, right?
Right.
Looks good.
Wonder Woman. No, it's more like
No,
it looks great. It's set in World War I, so it's a period movie. It's kind of weird though, seeing her kick ass in the army line in between trenches and stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. It's cool though.
No one remembered that.
Yeah, it's
no
polarizing.
one wrote that down.
We got one picture. No, but it looks really good. I've already heard from test screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be better than.
Yeah, and I think this is obviously it's much maligned, Batman versus Superman, but I think what
Gotta
might
mention it every week.
No, I know, but what might happen is a couple things. One, hopefully learn from some of the mistakes, but also get rid of the whole origin crap. You can pepper it in if you want, but it's really not.
This looks like an origin movie.
It doesn't. I think they don't have to do it at this point. I think they can do
Wonder Woman.
No, I think they can do it to a small extent, but this is one of her adventures, her big adventure. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, but the trailer looks like her adventure and the origin, which is good because I don't know where Wonder Woman comes from. I think it's good to have an origin.
But I agree, but it's doing it backwards, and they don't. I think spend more time. You can tell an origin through character interaction. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to direct the movie, but I just hope that it's not okay. Scene 1, she's a little kid.
She's a baby.
Yeah, I don't need to go that. We got it. She's Wonder Woman. She's the trailer shows the truth lasso.
This is cool.
It looks cool.
Did you see her invisible plane?
No.
Exactly. Exactly, David.
It's just interesting because there's a whole bunch of debate about Wonder Woman whether she can fly or not. Because if she can fly, why does she have an invisible jet? But I think through the comics it's changed. She can fly or she can't fly. Or she can
I wonder
jump
what they're
really
going to do
high.
in this universe. Because an invisible jet is ridiculous.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Because you got to explain the science behind it. She's just
you got to explain the science behind it.
No, that's what I'm saying. In these kind of
Doomsday.
movies, they're kind of set in some kind of reality.
I don't think they need to. Just do it. It just
She's just flying, sitting on a chair, flying in the air.
It seems
dumb.
I will say this movie seems more time period, which would help because then it's not so grounded in dark. It doesn't have to be dark. It's World War I, the good old days,
Yeah, World War I's great, David.
No, but you know what I mean. It wasn't. I don't know. It seems
Trench warfare, mustard gas.
No, you know what I meant. The lead up to the war. You know what I mean. They can.
I said, the time period's colorful. It's cool seeing her the old school colors.
Yeah, she's got the yellow, black.
Because in Batman vs Superman, she had it was all goldish,
gold, red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this has her blue, red, white, and blue. Or
yeah,
blue
and hopefully
red,
they do the learning powers thing. Hopefully she gets a little bit of that. And Wonder Woman was probably one of the best parts of Batman versus Superman. I mean, just that little smirk when she's fighting was oh yeah,
that's Gal Gadot.
Oh my god.
Anyways, so that leads up to the next thing they showed. They showed a Justice League stinger.
I will say, this has got me hyped again.
Me too, and I want to kick myself because of it.
I know.
Because so we all know Batman vs Superman was terrible.
First of all, go watch these and then come listen because we're gonna. It's not like it's a spoil; it's a teaser, but you need to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. But you can tell they're filming Justice League right now.
Yeah.
So how much time did they spend getting after seeing the Batman vs Superman bomb, starting the filming?
They made $1 billion.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Being crap, guys. we pooped the bed in this one.
Yeah.
We have to Comic-Con's in a couple months. Let's get these actors. Let's
get it together.
Film this, get it together, and show something really awesome.
It looks fantastic.
It just doesn't look like Batman vs Superman.
First of all, just the Flash is gonna kill it.
So we got a funny guy in the movies, guys.
No, but like an awkward funny, like
Oh, it's
a
fine.
nerd, like a Peter Parker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to be the Marvel kid, but that's awesome. And like his interaction with Bruce Wayne already looks like it could be interesting because it's like this. I'm the leader, you're the follower. And he's like, that's fine. That's cool. Like,
let's do it.
You know, like, cause I think most people, he's like, I didn't know you were real. Cyborg saying it. So he's like, yeah, when it needs to be, I'm real. The costumes look great. I'm a little worried about like the lightning thing with Flash. I don't watch the TV show, but the lightning thing's a little weird. Like,
don't think of the TV show. It's totally different.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the idea of like when he goes fast, like lightning bolts shoot all over to tell the audience like, hey, I'm moving fast.
Well, remember like Batman vs Superman.
Right,
there was like to the portal. Someone was like, he can do that. It's like, then it's like, oh wait, if you go really fast, you can go back in time.
Right,
whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think it all looks great. The music that's playing, you got Icky Thump, you know.
Yeah, which is kind of a weird choice for them.
It's very the whole theme is lighthearted.
Right.
You got the comedy mixed in there with the serious stuff.
Right.
The costumes all look great, like you said.
The last line is fantastic.
Aquaman kicks ass. He looks amazing.
Yeah, he does. It's freaking
Khal Drogo.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
But at the very end, he's like, "I heard you talk to fish."
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I want. Like, and I get it. You can have levity creates darkness, right? It gives contrast. You can have moments of like gut punch, like, "Oh my God, like that's terrible and awful." But you got to break it up with levity. If there's no levity, it's just dark, and it's just like
sad, depressing. No one wants to see that.
Well,
we don't need to technically rehash all this.
No,
stuff
I know, but I think hopefully they've learned from it. But
they had to have.
I want it to again. It's just these characters have such an opportunity to have really cool interactions with each other. That part when they're kind of whatever, there looks like they're in like a sewer or something like that at the end, and they're all standing next to four of them. Mm-hmm. That looks super cool.
Now, so the one thing I mentioned, Superman was not in this stinger,
of course,
because he dies or whatever at the end of Batman vs Superman. Spoiler alert. But they revealed the first high res cast photo. From Justice League, and it has Superman in it, so it's like, oh, spoiler, he comes back.
Well,
which I mean, obviously,
come on,
and he's smiling, which is like, what?
Well,
Superman can smile,
right?
But yeah,
I don't want to be Superman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm hyped. Like, I can't wait till this movie comes out.
I'm hyped. It's Batman,
but it looks great.
It's Batman. I like the voice now. I freaking like Ben Affleck. Okay. The next one we
got like the bat beard, and then he shaves it.
Yeah.
But this will be the next movie after Wonder Woman in DCU.
Now the next one that's coming out that I am like gaga for, Suicide Squad. They did show a little bit more. They've been showing like
this was like a 3.5 minute like Hall H
so good
trailer.
So good.
I'm sad I watched it.
I'm
sad I watched it.
I didn't watch it.
They revealed the villain.
Oh, I didn't see the villain.
Oh.
Don't tell me. But
you just said you watched it.
No, I watched like they had like little like featurettes of each character.
Oh no!
Throughout the week.
No. Today they released like a 3.5 minute. It's like an extended trailer, but it reveals the villain.
It's okay. But it just looks so cool.
No, I can't wait.
I can't. The featurette that I saw was with Harley Quinn, and
I saw that one. I saw the Joker one.
She's in the elevator, and she's just beating the crap out of people. And like this movie looks like it could be hilarious. And I'm hoping, Will Smith, I hope he does like the Independence Day, because you jokers must be crazy. Like, I want that Will Smith to be Deadshot. Like, I know some people are like, that's not Deadshot. He's, I'm like, dude, Will Smith's gotta be Will Smith in this movie. And like, I want him to be, and I actually want them to do a thing where they make you root for the bad guys, like Ocean's 11. Like,
if it's the only protagonist in the movie, you kind of have to.
No, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
No, they could make them dark and like make them like do terror, like.
Kill people on the way to killing the bad guy.
Yeah, could do that but it seems like it's got levity, and that's what's so much fun about those Ocean's 11's movies. The reason you root for them is because they're interesting and funny, and they're doing something terrible, right? So they have to show like, oh no, I'm a nice guy. I mean, I steal from people all the time, and it's I use armed robbery and I trick people and deceive them, but I'm good looking and
I'm Brad Pitt. I eat all the time in every scene I'm doing. Look how cool I am.
Right. You think I should get another? Yeah, I should get another. It's a rush. There's a little rush. No, but that's my point. Like, they need to do that. It'll be fantastic, and I'm excited to see Jared Leto's Joker. I know it's gonna be a love it or hate it thing, just like everybody, but
as long as people are going to compare it to Heath Ledger, which you really can't. It's its own thing. Treat it like that.
And I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah, me too.
He's killed it so far with all of his other movies that he's done.
30 Seconds to Mars. Great band.
It's okay.
I don't think that really strengthens his acting chops.
No,
but, hey.
no. He did. He's done Dallas Buyers Club. I know. Oh, okay.
Fight Club.
I thought you were. Yeah.
No.
Okay. What else was? So let's move on to the Marvel stuff.
The MCU.
Yep.
As far as I know, they only covered. I don't know if maybe they'll do it tomorrow, but today we just saw their stuff from Netflix.
Yes.
The Netflix MCU, I guess. So they showed a new trailer for Luke Cage.
So good.
Looks awesome. The music. Oh.
The music's great. I love that he's just like.
Is that Wu-Tang?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's either I hear Method Man in it, so I'm pretty sure. Anyways, there's a part where the people are coming at him, and he just goes like this, like he puts his hands up, like come on, and it's just like that's awesome, like
kicks the gate in.
Yeah, and just like it's just rips off a car door, like it looks great. I like the actor, I like his character, I like the backstory with him, and it looks more of the same. That's what I want. Yep. And it's set in the same universe, so I'm hoping there's going to be some cameos and crossovers. Like, they're nailing it with this stuff. Marvel, like, just killing it with the freaking MCU on Netflix.
Yep. Speaking of, we got the first trailer for Iron Fist.
Yep.
It's more of a teaser.
This is really teasing because, like, you barely even you get kind of like an idea of his origin story.
They don't really show his powers other than somebody breaking through that wall, but that may not even be. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good. Well, come on, man, it's gonna be him. But I'm excited again because hopefully they do a cool origin idea here because I really did like what they did with Daredevil. And it's just they showed. The reason that all this is awesome and it doesn't matter even if none of that's good is because they showed the teaser for the Defenders.
They showed Defenders tease, yeah.
Oh my God, they're going to do it, guys. They're going to do it. They're going to do the R-rated Avengers. Like, they're going to do it. Like,
okay, so like
this is so awesome.
I asked you about this and it seems like all these characters, all their powers are all like physical based. You got like Daredevil who can see and he's a good fighter. You got Jessica Jones who's a good fighter but she's really super strong.
Yeah.
You got Luke Cage which has impenetrable skin.
Yeah.
And he's super strong.
Yeah.
Then you got Iron Fist, which you said is probably, I mean, it's obviously there's martial arts.
He's got some martial
stuff.
arts, and then he's got like some magical stuff going on.
So he does have powers.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. Because to me, it's like all this Netflix stuff is great, but like I don't see people shooting laser beams at anything.
No, but
I'm like, is that a budget thing? Or
yeah,
like,
sure.
Like, we can't have any like superheroes.
No.
Let's just have people that are strong and stuff.
But that's cool.
It's easier to pull off.
And I'm gonna absolutely love because now you've built up. You have what's his name? Cox, the guy who plays Daredevil. I can't think of his first name. Matthew Cox.
Sure.
Anyways, that character of Daredevil interacting with Jessica Jones is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Because, like, Daredevil is such a goody two-shoe. Like, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, I
whatever, I'm really
drinking.
care.
And he's like, you're drinking? Like, what are you doing?
All the time?
Like, yeah, like she throws the bottle at the bad guy or something. And, like, I'm going to love that. I'm going to love the interactions with, like, I think there'll be a great buddy thing with, like, Luke Cage and Daredevil. Like, I'm looking so forward to it. And then they have the one line with Stick. And he's like, you think you can defend this place? You can't even defend yourself. You can't even, yeah. It's just like, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I cannot
Defenders, what they say, late 2017?
Yeah, they got to establish all that other stuff.
We still have 2 more shows to go to.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Like, that's why I'm telling you, they're doing a rated R Avengers movie. Like, and it's going to be 13, 12 episodes long. Like, this is the problem. Like, they were like, hey, what's your guys' wish list? And they were like, we want this. Because guys, they're never going to do it. So let's just ask for it. And then we asked for it, and they were like, yeah, we'll do that. And it's like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? You're going to do that? Yeah, and we'll do a really good job with it, too. It's like, we should have asked for more. We should have, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to put Thanos in a Marvel movie. Are you joking? Like,
do you want to do breaking Marvel news, David?
Okay, go ahead.
I got stuff here. Captain Marvel has cast Brie Larson.
Oh, awesome. I love Brie Larson. That's great.
Yeah, won Academy Award this year for The Room.
Yeah, The Room.
Hers really good, so that's
she's going to play Carol Danvers. That's awesome. Oh, man, I can't wait. This is the thing. Like, we keep asking for Marvel to do stuff, and they do it.
They are turning into, I heard about this earlier, I don't know if you know about this, but the Tower of Terror at Disneyland, at Disney's California Adventure, they're turning it into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Of course.
Which is interesting. Because
no one knows what Twilight Zone is anymore.
New Doctor Strange trailer. Obviously, we're not going to watch it right now, but let's just pretend. It's going to be good.
I'm sure it is.
Let's just
Benedict
it's going to be good.
Cumberbatch.
It looks like we got some Spider-Man Homecoming footage revealing the
good.
Vulture, which will be cool to watch. And then we have Thor Ragnarok footage in the new title, or the new title.
Hulk versus Thor.
Yeah, they actually showed he's gonna have armor, Hulk, with like a gladiator helmet and like axe and stuff.
Well, Planet Hulk, I think everyone thinks that's where they're gonna. I don't know if you've ever read that comic or seen they did an animated. It's really good. Really
is it ridiculous? It's
like Hulk goes to like a gladiator planet.
Okay.
Like Hulk meets gladiator. Like,
nice.
Yep, that's it. Sold. There's a couple more trailers that don't fit into the superhero category that we saw. Let's start with the one that I'm a little skeptical about. They're coming out with the new Blair Witch movie.
Yeah, so this was teased a couple weeks ago. A new teaser came out for a movie called The Woods.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, what's this?" You know, from the director who made Blair Witch Project. What is this? And then it was revealed at Comic-Con it's a Blair Witch movie. And it's technically the third one. I don't know in the storyline if this because the second one was Book of Shadows.
You're such
not
a canon
very good.
guy.
What? I'm just saying.
I hate
but I will
Blair
never
Witch.
rewatch this movie. Blair Witch is still the scariest movie I've ever seen.
It's not scary.
No, it is. It's the eyes, man. The eyes get me every time. I don't like eyes.
Oh, I get what you're saying. The close-up thing and like
it just freaks me out. And just because to me, when I first saw the movie, it's like, no, this is like real.
No,
real
right. That's how it was sold.
And that's how they marketed the movie. Kind of like Paranormal Activity did in the modern age, but we know by now. But that movie scared the crap out of me.
For me, I think it was my friends. I had a couple friends that went and saw it, and they were like, it's going to scare you. You're not going to be able to sleep. And I was like, oh my. Like, it was built up to the point where I'm like, I'm going to like crap my pants in the theater. It's so scary. And I was like, there's just a bunch of people lost in the woods. Like, yeah, that's scary. And like, the ending is scary. But I was like, that's it? Like, that's it? And I was just I was disappointed.
That scene at the end where he's standing in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Scary. What are you talking about, dude?
No, not scary. So...
Give me the heebie-jeebies.
I don't like lost footage stuff or found footage or whatever the hell it's called. It's just, especially now. I think
they could do it easier now because now you can be like, oh well, phones have optical image stabilization, so it makes sense. Well, the camera isn't all shaky,
right? And you have like GoPro, so you can actually get like really cool footage, and it makes sense.
Yeah, see, I like the found footage stuff because it seems more real, more immersive, but also more scary. So I don't really watch those movies anymore.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this. We're not huge horror fans as far as films, but they've got a big hill to overcome with me because I'm not going to go see this movie. Like, it's got to get...
I'm not going to see it because I don't want to get scared. That's all.
What if it got like a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes?
No, because it's scary.
Really?
No, I don't like scary movies.
See, I think my scary is a different kind of scary. Like
I like thrillers, like tense.
Right. Like
almost like horror, but I don't like...
10 Cloverfield Lane. That's the kind of horror scary that I want.
I just don't like jump scares.
I like creepy, like... antagonist. That's what I want. That's the horror.
Rapey and like...
Yeah, like we're like... What is this guy a good guy or a bad guy? I can't tell.
You don't know.
He's got the eyes.
Speaking of 10 Cloverfield Lane and John Goodman.
Yeah, there you go. Good segue there. Right. There is a new trailer for the movie Kong Skull Island. They're making a new
King Kong movie, guys. I'm so excited for this movie, David.
I watched it. I love that Samuel L. Jackson's in it. It's gonna be great. So many damn monkeys on this Skull Island. It's gonna be great.
No, but it's supposedly set in the same universe as the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Same studio, same producer. Supposedly they're gonna do a Kong vs. Godzilla, which would be amazing.
Of course they are.
But if you haven't seen Godzilla yet, definitely go see it. It's an excellent movie.
I need to go watch it.
You need to watch it. The same guy's directing Rogue One, obviously.
Right.
So you kind of see his style. But it's a great movie. And yeah, this trailer looks great. It's got Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
It's got Brie Larson, speaking of.
Yeah, a really good cast now that I think about it.
Yeah, John Goodman.
It's just weird that, not to bring up Samuel L. Jackson, but I feel like Samuel L. Jackson's like, they were like, okay, we have a monster movie. Who we need to cast? They're like, well, who's been in every monster movie? It's like, Samuel L. Jackson fought a shark that was like an angry shark. Yeah, put him in it. It's just like, how does that guy, he gets like all the best casting. Like, he never gets like the main role, but he always gets a good role. And I don't know, he's just fantastic.
But Kong himself is enormous. I think this is the biggest Kong we've ever seen on the screen.
Oh, yeah. As far as like, it looks gigantic. Like, it's gonna, like, the Empire State Building is gonna be pretty easy to scale for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kong, it's been a while since the last one. Did you like the Peter Jackson one?
It's alright.
I liked it. It was weird.
CG is too much going on. Too much CG and stuff.
What was it? We were joking when they kind of show Kong's face at the end of the trailer. I was like, it's Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Caesar. But, it's fine.
It's been a long time since we've had a King Kong movie. I think that movie came out in the early 2000s, if I remember correctly.
But what I liked about like Godzilla and stuff is it's just real, it's dark, it's
been over 10 years.
Yeah, so putting that theme in a Kong movie would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that and from what I know from the Godzilla movie is that it's a different type of monster movie because it's like the Cloverfield thing. Like, I'm not going to show you the monster all the way until maybe towards the end of the movie. Yeah. And I'm interested to, because here it's the same.
You see more of the antagonist monsters than you do Godzilla.
Right.
Until like the climax of the third act.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I'm wondering if they're going to kind of have that same vibe for this movie. And then what are they going to do for King Kong? It's
the crap out of each other until Mothra shows up and beat them instead. And then they'll be friends. Yeah.
It's going to be great. So definitely check that one out. The last one that we wanted to we skipped this one. It's a superhero, but it's Marvel, but it's Fox,
not
right?
MCU, yeah. So it's more the X-Men.
X-Men
universe.
Yeah, universe of it's going to be on FX, so it's Fox owned. So they say mutants because of course they have the rights to that. So
MCU can't say
they
mutant.
have to say it every single time. Remember joking about X-Men, like the first line is like mutants, haha, deal with it, MCU.
These mutations cause mutants.
Exactly, they're like haha, deal with that, MCU. Okay, so this new TV show is called Legion. I'm sure there's a comic book that I'm not familiar with.
I'm sure there's a guy called Legion.
Right. But the trailer looks, the teaser is weird.
Well, it's created by the same guy who did the Fargo television series,
which you love.
Which is like, oh, I'm sold. I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Now he created it, or is he writing it, directing, or is it,
I think he created the show.
Okay, so kind of like the JJ did.
Yeah, but don't quote me.
No, that's fine.
But he's not like executive producing. He created the show.
But
so
they
probably showrunner.
There, it looks like this character is kind of in. He's been captured, or the government
Looks
is
like he's crazy. Or something.
Yeah, and like everyone thinks he's crazy, but they're like, but he might be the most powerful mutant in the world.
Yeah, and they don't really like show what his powers are. There's just a lot of weird stuff. It's weird.
Yeah,
but it just looks interesting and
and that's good. They don't give anything away.
But they show the title and the O is like the old school X-Men logo, which is kind of cool. So I wonder, it's just like, Netflix did a really good job, so we're gonna start.
Why not?
This is Fox's first, I think, superhero television show.
The problem with all of this is like, and it's the problem that we have with Batman versus Superman. Like the bar is not low anymore. Like the bar is high.
Yeah.
And there's not just like good television, because there's a ton. We talked about Stranger Things in the beginning of the episode. There's good superhero television, like even within that. There was another little teaser trailer. Ghost Rider is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, sold.
Why?
I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know you love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Ghost Rider, we were joking. Like, I think they're gonna start grabbing. Like, Marvel could have a moment where they're a little too big for their own britches, but they've done well. Like,
I don't know what
I think
do,
the Guardians of the Galaxy was like the moment where I was like, really?
Well, the big antagonist in S.H.I.E.L.D. died at the end of the spoiler alert. At the end of the last season, so it's like I don't know if he's going to be a good guy or bad guy, but they don't really have a big bad guy anymore.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's just cool. Like, I mean, it's almost like, yeah, you can't do that, and then they do it. And they do a pretty good job.
There's no way you would have thought about this when the first X-Men or first Spider-Man movie was coming out, when this whole superhero media resurgence happened.
Right, and it's even weird to even think that.
Like every major network has a superhero show? That's crazy to think about.
Right. Well, people are always worried about saturation. Is there going to be too much superhero stuff that it's like, ugh. But I'm of the mind, if you do it well and you focus on the character not as a superhero, like the Jessica Jones show and the Daredevil show, those are as much about being a superhero as they are being a normal person as a superhero.
Right.
And that's where the interesting parts of those characters come into play. Obviously, good acting, good cinematography, good music, all that matters. But if you don't tell an interesting story as both the alter ego and the superhero, then it's boring.
It falls flat, yeah.
Right. So, and that's why the bar is set so freaking high. Like, good luck. You're not gonna, if you mess up, like, short leash.
Yeah, definitely.
And
you've seen that with like CBS Supergirl, they kicked it off to CW. If it doesn't do well, they'll kick it off somewhere else.
No, I know, but now you have the Flash crossover, and people love it. And I think they have their audience. I think people really do enjoy
CW,
that stuff.
Those are kind of like
the Arrow,
a different
and that's fine. And that's where you have to find your audience, and you have to find your niche. But like, I still think those shows are well produced. The special effects on them aren't bad, and I think the actors are good. The people who play those three characters, Green Arrow, I forget the guy's name, but he's really good. He's Casey Jones in Turtles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, that's our show. Did you want to talk about anything else, or you want to wrap it up?
We are good.
We're
wrap
going
it
long.
up.
Okay.
Get the bow.
Okay. By the way, thank you for the email, JB, as well as the suggestion from Steve. Mm-hmm. Again, you can send us comments, questions, concerns, recipes. We never asked for. I don't know why.
Send us anything.
Send us
Honestly.
anything. And it's called Ask Sit Down.
Send me a new Xbox Elite controller if you want.
Don't do that. You don't need to. He'll just break it again. Our
How
email
dare you.
is
sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
I was trying to get it right when you took a drink, so you'd have this pregnant pause like you didn't know what it was.
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
All right. Till next time. Bye.
See ya.